Welcome, kind listener, to this peaceful space we have prepared for you, a haven where the loudest sound is often the softness of your own steady breath. We offer this gentle tale as a quiet sanctuary, hoping its calm rhythms will help you fall asleep more easily and find a gentle contentment for the night. Should this time with us bring you respite, we would be deeply appreciative if you would offer a gentle appreciation by liking this story, subscribing to the Quiet channel, and perhaps placing a kind comment below. Tonight, we will be visiting the high peaks and entering the wondrous, smooth chamber of the Solarium of the Silent Song. Prepare to be enchanted by the pervasive warmth of the ancient quartzwood and the subtle silvery glow of captured starlight that gently washes away the day's weariness. Allow the profound, quiet cadence of this unseen place to settle your mind, inviting stillness and carrying you toward the deepest, most tranquil repose. Chapter 1. The Ascent of Misted Trails. The Quiet Traveler. Aurea began her slow ascent along the winding path, the familiar sounds of the bustling lowlands already fading like faint, forgotten echoes behind her. She moved with a gentle, measured pace, finding a profound comfort in the rhythm of her own steps upon the soft, cool loam of the trail, a texture like yielding earth beneath her light boots. The air grew crisper with every rise, carrying the fresh, clean scent of high-altitude night, subtly mingling with the sweet fragrance of the small, white, night-blooming flora that dotted the gentle slopes in shimmering clusters. This was a place where sound did not vanish sharply, but simply softened, becoming diffused and harmless like light passing through misted glass. Aurea paused gently to observe a cluster of ancient, moss-covered trees whose leaves were shaped like wide, receptive hands, their presence a silent testimony to the quiet persistence of nature. The dominant sound now was the continuous soft shush of the high meadow grasses, an ethereal sound woven by a languid zephyr, rustling the silvery blades in long, tranquil waves that moved across the landscape like a flowing, liquid curtain. With each breath, she inhaled the restorative coldness of the mountain air, feeling the familiar, subtle tension gathered at her shoulders begin its slow, silent retreat, melting away with an effortless grace. There was a unique comfort in knowing that the sounds of the world she had left behind could no longer reach this serene elevation, replaced entirely by the ambient peace of the peaks. The final stretch of the trail was wrapped in the unique, pervasive mists of the high peaks, a cooling, silent presence that felt like the mountain itself sighing gently. As the fine moisture settled upon Aurea's skin, she experienced the immediate, subtle magic of the location, a temporary, profound weightlessness that eased her physical steps and quieted her mental landscape. The cool, light touch of the mist held the faint herbal scent of mountain sage, encouraging her lungs to draw deep, quiet, and satisfying breaths of fresh air, filling her with a renewed sense of gentle focus. These mists were inherently kind, wrapping the edges of the path in a soft, safe uncertainty that required slow, deliberate movement, favoring patience over speed. It was during this gentle passage through the luminous mists that Aurea first caught sight of the solarium itself, resting quietly on the highest, softest mound of the peak. The structure was crafted entirely of pale quartzwood, and even from a distance, it emanated a steady, diffused glow that seemed to come from within the very material, a faint, soothing beacon against the deep purple canvas of the night sky. This glow was silvery and soft, entirely without glare, a light that felt nurturing and utterly safe, promising deep sanctuary and stillness. She appreciated the thought that had gone into crafting such a place, one that welcomed the tired soul with gentle radiance rather than demanding attention with sharp, disruptive brilliance. She felt a quiet warmth spreading through her chest at the sight, a subtle anticipation that held no trace of hurry, only deep, profound peace. The structure seemed dome-like, perfectly integrated into the gentle curve of the peak, appearing less like something built and more like a massive, naturally grown pearl settled softly upon the earth. The smooth, polished quartzwood shone with the faintest internal light, a living substance that had absorbed the patient silence of countless starry nights. The pervasive sound of the high wind was transformed here, meeting the solarium's gentle walls with a continuous, quiet shush, an enveloping sound that functioned as an acoustic blanket, keeping the profound calm intact within. Drawing near, Aurea noted the scent change again, the powerful sage of the mists giving way to a more delicate, ancient aroma. The clean, comforting smell of polished, long-preserved quartzwood, faintly suggestive of distant spices and quiet sunlight. She reached the wide, low threshold, her boots sinking slightly into the deep, welcoming softness of the ground just before the wood began, feeling the transition from the yielding earth to the firmer, glowing path. It was a threshold that invited rest, not revelation, offering simple passage into a deeper state of tranquility. The soft, silvery light, captured and contained within the wood, flowed out of the arched entrance in a slow, languid cascade, spilling onto the ground around the perimeter in pools of peaceful illumination. Aurea paused just at the edge, allowing the gentle warmth emanating from the wood to wash over her, a warmth felt as a slight, comforting tingle on her face and hands. She closed her eyes for a moment, letting the gentle quiet of the high world settle over her entire being, feeling her breath steady into a slow, satisfying rhythm. It was a profound and simple peace, already slowing the rapid turning of the world. This quiet place, she mused softly, was entirely free from expectation, existing solely to be a vessel for stillness, a deep breath taken by the high mountains themselves. Aurea smiled gently, appreciating the profound kindness of such architecture. With a sense of unhurried contentment, she finally stepped over the threshold, moving from the embracing mist into the soft, comforting luminescence of the solarium of the quiet peaks. This quiet place remembers only tranquility, she thought, sinking fully into the sense of profound, welcome stillness. Chapter 2: The Gateway of Warm Luminescence. Stepping fully inside the arched entrance of the solarium felt like walking into a bath of warm, silent light, instantly deepening the sense of restorative calm. The walls, smooth and continuously curved, were built entirely of the magnificent quartzwood, glowing from within with that soft internal silver light that seemed to capture and suspend the distant starlight. Aurea took a slow, deliberate moment to run her hand over the nearest surface, marveling at the texture, perfectly polished, cool, yet possessing an undeniable ambient warmth that radiated gently back against her palm, a feeling of deep, sustained comfort. The immense, low-domed chamber held a quiet, generous space, inviting slow movement and peaceful repose. Near a beautifully carved low table, she noticed the solitary figure of Elian, the gentle keeper, who acknowledged her presence with the softest of nods, a gesture of quiet welcome. Elian moved with an inherent grace and slowness, his movements mirroring the gentle patience of the ancient structure he tended. The delicate scent of brewing mountain sage infusion filled this area, a warm herbal fragrance that grounded the fantastical space in the simple comforts of hearth and home, instantly promoting a feeling of safety and ease. He silently presented a smooth clay mug, its warmth immediately familiar and soothing against Aurea's cool fingers. "Welcome to the quiet hours," Elian murmured, his voice pitched to a soft, pleasing depth that barely disturbed the ambient silence, carrying an echo of the mountain's patient wisdom. His words held a kind, innocent appreciation for the simple beauty surrounding them. Aurea offered a quiet expression of thanks, taking a slow, mindful sip of the infusion. The sage was delicately warm and slightly sweet, spreading an immediate internal comfort throughout her chest. They stood in soft companionship for a few minutes, their shared appreciation for the stillness a quiet dialogue, requiring no further words. Aurea found a comfortably situated bench near the curving wall, its surface smoothed by centuries of quiet observation, perfectly contoured to support the weary traveler. As she settled onto the wide, shallow seat, she focused her attention on the intricate details of the space, beginning the mindful work of fully detaching from the outer world. The quartzwood floor reflected the ceiling's diffuse light in soft, shimmering patterns, not mirrors, but gentle pools of illumination that shifted slowly, hypnotically across the surface. She watched the subtle dance of light, noting how the internal pulse of the quartzwood seemed to slow and regulate her own subtle movements and thoughts. She observed the details of the walls, where the wood grain created swirling, gentle lines, feeling like the quiet calligraphy of time itself. The overarching silence was profound, yet it did not feel empty. It possessed a depth and richness, filled only by the distant shush of the wind outside and the steady, quiet rhythm of her own breathing. This lack of interruption allowed her mind to relax its defenses completely, moving from sharp awareness to a soft, contemplative calm, feeling the gentle relief in her temples. Aurea pressed her spine gently against the warmth of the wall, absorbing the ambient heat that promised true rest. The infusion settled pleasantly in her stomach, adding a comforting internal anchor to the profound quiet of the chamber. She began tracing the smooth edge of the bench with one finger, enjoying the seamless transition of the polished texture, the small, repetitive movement acting as a gentle anchor for her attention. Each tiny detail became a point of gentle appreciation, demonstrating that profound beauty resides entirely in stillness and simplicity. This quiet place remembers only tranquility, she reminded herself, allowing the ancient silence to cradle her. As her sense of sight grew accustomed to the low, enveloping light, Aurea noticed the soft, silvery patches of starlight on the floor, captured by the structure's magic, seemed to exhibit a slow, very gentle breathing motion. It was a subtle visual rhythm, perfectly synchronized with the internal sense of peace she was beginning to feel. The gentle presence of Elian, tending quietly to a small, non-flaring oil lamp in the distance, contributed to the atmosphere of safety and quiet hospitality. Here, every element existed only to promote comfort, and Aurea felt the deep, restorative weight of her body against the soft cushions, the true feeling of safe surrender beginning its welcome descent. She closed her eyes again, and the pervasive warmth of the quartzwood felt like a soft blanket wrapped gently around her. The gentle shift of energy within the solarium was palpable, a pervasive, restorative force that offered profound rest without demanding anything in return. The weariness that she had carried up the misty slopes melted away entirely, leaving her feeling lighter and utterly receptive to the deep, approaching quietude. Chapter 3. Resonance with the quiet hours. In the profound heart of the solarium, the absence of noise began its transformative work, revealing a depth of silence that was rich and layered, a stable and comforting environment. Aurea sat perfectly still on the polished bench, allowing the absolute quiet to settle around her like a protective layer of soft fleece. She focused on the smooth, cool texture of the quartzwood against her fingertips, grounding her awareness in the immediate, gentle reality of the space. The air here held a unique stillness, thick with the delicate, clean scent of the ancient wood. As the minutes stretched into tranquil observation, Aurea began to notice the subtle, magical effect of the chamber, an internal sensation that grew stronger with her stillness. This was the manifestation of the silent song, the unseen music that held the stars in their patient courses. It did not register as an audible sound, but rather as a low, incredibly soothing resonance. A thrum felt deep within the bone structure of her chest and spine. This gentle vibration was profoundly comforting, acting like a soft internal metronome that encouraged her heart and breath to slow their pace, effortlessly finding the cosmic rhythm of quiet stability. The soft silvery light captured by the quartzwood now seemed to actively participate in this deep calm, its diffused quality gently persuading her focus inward. As she experienced the silent song, her perception of the chamber's subtle movements sharpened, the slow internal pulse of the light pooling on the floor, synchronized perfectly with the gentle thrum in her chest. This was a place where light and feeling were interwoven into a seamless, restful experience. The sensation of the internal cadence felt like a deep, reassuring warmth spreading slowly from her core outwards, chasing away the faint chill of the high-peaked night. Aurea allowed her awareness to drift, no longer thinking specific thoughts, but simply appreciating the sensation of being in such profound stillness. The external world and its demands had receded entirely, replaced by the immediate, overwhelming peace. She felt the muscles around her eyes and jaw relax completely, a gentle, welcome softening that she realized she had not experienced fully in a very long time. The soothing weightlessness of the mists of the high peaks, which she had absorbed on the ascent, still lingered gently on her skin, contributing to the effortless relaxation of her limbs. Elian, the gentle keeper, moved softly in the vast distance of the chamber, arranging small, perfectly smooth cushions and adjusting the placement of a woven mat. His serene movements served as a peaceful visual anchor, demonstrating the quiet harmony that was possible within this sacred space. His presence never intruded upon the silence, only deepened the sense of benevolent safety and constant care. Aurea watched him with a gentle, passing curiosity, immediately returning her attention to the smooth texture of the wood beneath her hand. The feeling of the silent song continued its work. Gently washing away the remaining residue of hurried time, Aurea felt a subtle, delightful sensation of floating, held gently between the pervasive warmth of the quartzwood and the cool stability of the mountain air. She understood in that quiet moment that true rest was not the cessation of activity, but the gentle alignment of her inner self with the simple, profound peace of the surrounding cosmos. This internal music was the sound of perfect balance and profound acceptance, a melody entirely free of sharp notes or challenging tempos. She inhaled the clean, faint perfume of jasmine and mountain sage, letting the comforting scent settle deep in her lungs. Every detail in the solarium, from the softest light to the internal thrum, worked in perfect, unhurried concert, creating a profound atmosphere of deep, restful certainty. Aurea was held gently in the quiet truth that this quiet place remembers only tranquility, and as the silent song resonated within her, she felt entirely and profoundly safe, ready to sink into a deep, meditative state of restoration. Chapter 4. The Heart of the Unheard Melody. The profound stillness within the solarium had now transcended mere silence, becoming a stable, enveloping presence that was rich and utterly protective. Aurea had passed beyond observation and into a state of pure, restful acceptance, where her body felt comfortably heavy against the cushion, and her breathing had slowed to the most effortless, quiet rhythm, the pervasive warmth radiating from the quartzwood walls wrapped around her like a perfectly tailored, comforting garment, a sensation of deep, physical ease that started at her feet and ascended slowly. Her awareness rested entirely upon the subtle, internal experience of the silent song, the gentle thrum now a constant, unwavering sensation deep within her bones. It was the sound of deep peace, a quiet cosmic anchor that held the restless movements of the mind in gentle check. Her thoughts, which might occasionally drift, were soft and slow, focusing only on the immense appreciation for the exquisite simplicity of the moment, the delicate scent of polished wood, the silvery bath of light, the soft weight of her own body. This quiet place demanded nothing, offered only profound calm, and Aurea accepted it fully. She focused intently on the mesmerizing visual of the silvery light breathing gently across the polished floor, a silent pulse that confirmed the life of the solarium. This recurring visual of the slow, soft luminescence was profoundly hypnotic, easily holding her gaze without causing strain or requiring intellectual effort. The sense of time stretched and mellowed, becoming irrelevant. She existed purely in the comforting vastness of the now, where every sensation confirmed absolute safety and tranquility. Her eyelids grew heavy, feeling a delicious, gentle drag that signaled the deep surrender of her conscious mind. Elian, the gentle keeper, sat now near the great entrance, his form silhouetted against the diffused glow, tending a small vessel of the sage infusion. His stillness contributed immensely to the atmosphere. He was simply a part of the profound quietude, a watchful, kind spirit that guaranteed the continuance of the solarium's peace. Aurea smiled inwardly, recognizing the shared silent gratitude between them for this beautiful, tranquil space, an appreciation that transcended conversation. The feeling of profound rest began to settle deeper within her musculature. Her shoulders released any lingering tightness. Her jaw went slack with relaxation, and she felt a gentle, spreading warmth across her chest, a physical manifestation of the inner peace provided by the silent song. She realized that she was inhaling and exhaling with a depth and ease that required no conscious effort, her lungs filling fully with the clean, temperate air. This level of bodily relaxation was the most comforting discovery of the entire ascent. The subtle observation kept looping in her resting mind, soft and true. This quiet place remembers only tranquility. It was a comforting mantra of simple, powerful truth. The quartzwood, warmed by the absorbed starlight, felt perpetually supportive, smooth and yielding, like the cool surface of a gentle body of water. Aurea felt an incredible sense of integration with the chamber, as if the soft, pervasive warmth of the wood had passed entirely into her own being. She sank deeper into the quietude, carried along by the slow, gentle thrum. The worries of the world, which had seemed so weighty before, were now dissolved entirely, reduced to insignificant wisps of thought that were immediately dispersed by the calm resonance of the ancient structure. Aurea drifted easily on the pervasive currents of peace, knowing that the immense kind energy of the solarium would hold her safe until morning. Chapter 5. Carrying the inner stillness. Aurea slowly and gently stirred, drawn not by any abrupt sound, but by a subtle shift in the solarium's gentle lighting as the world outside began its careful approach to dawn. The deep purple of the night sky, visible through the high apertures, was now laced with the palest, softest wash of ethereal blue and rose, hues so delicate they felt more like a memory than a color. She felt a profound, satisfying weight of deep rest throughout her body, completely restored, as though she had been gently recalibrated to a frequency of utter peace. The comforting warmth of the quartzwood still enveloped her, though the internal thrum of the silent song had settled from a resonance into a soft, quiet echo residing deep within her core. She moved with deliberate slowness, testing the lightness in her limbs, finding that the pervasive weightlessness granted by the mists of the high peaks had not vanished, but remained as a subtle, pleasing ease in her movements. Aurea breathed deeply the clean, faintly jasmine-scented air, feeling a profound gratitude for the night of untroubled tranquility she had been granted. Elian, the gentle keeper, was softly sweeping the polished floor near the exit, his movements as fluid and quiet as the shifting light. He paused, offering Aurea a warm, peaceful gaze, a quiet acknowledgement of her transformation. They shared a final moment of simple, wordless appreciation for the sanctuary and the calm it provided. Elian then offered her a single dried mountain sage leaf, its fragrance crisp and clean, to carry with her, a simple gift of quiet companionship for the path ahead. Aurea accepted the leaf, its texture papery and delicate against her palm, and finally turned toward the softly arched entrance. She stepped back over the gentle threshold, moving from the steady, silvery light of the solarium and into the muted colors of the early dawn. The path was still soft beneath her feet, and the gentle wind offered its pervasive shush against the high meadow grasses. The air was cool and invigorating, yet the pervasive warmth of the quartzwood structure seemed to linger within her, like a softly woven, internal cloak. She began her descent, a slow, unhurried journey back toward the world. The inner stillness, the gentle cadence of the silent song, was now a quiet, portable companion, residing securely in her heart. She noticed the small, commonplace sounds of the lower slopes, a distant, quiet stream murmuring, the soft twittering of waking birds, and found that they could no longer jar or disturb her peace. Her mind, once a place of bustling thoughts, was now a calm, broad lake, reflecting only the serene sky above. The mists of the high peaks eventually thinned as she reached the lower slopes, leaving behind only the pleasant coolness on her skin and the memory of effortless movement. Aurea knew that the external landscape remained the same, but her inner world had been profoundly adjusted by the quiet magic of the peaks. She realized that the solarium's purpose was not to hold the peace, but to gently impart it to those who sought stillness. Carrying the gentle echo of the cosmic melody within her, Aurea felt entire and profoundly rested, ready to meet the day with a rare, deep calm that seemed impervious to hurried thoughts. She descended slowly into the waking valley, moving with a quiet grace, assured that this quiet place remembers only tranquility, and that tranquility now remembered her. The deep, lasting peace settled over her entirely, guiding her toward further hours of gentle contentment.